everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a multi-strand bracelet using some products from the Bargain Bead Box, June 2021 edition. So let me put a little disclaimer out there. Every product in this bracelet is not from the Bargain Bead Box. So I had a lady tell me that I was being deceptive one time for saying I was using products from the Bargain Bead Box. And they weren't all from the Bargain Bead Box. So, okay. Sorry, not trying to be deceptive, but I will put out a disclaimer for this one. Not all of these products are from the Bargain Bead Box, but some of them are. So, yeah, anyway. If you're not familiar with Bargain Bead Box, it is a monthly beading subscription service delivered straight to your door, $17.98 a month. You get about $65 worth of great product, and yeah, I mean, it's shipped and everything for $17.98 a month. If you want to join, I'll have a link in the description box below, and if you use coupon Wendy2, that'll get you $2 off your first box. Along with your box, let me leave that so you can see it. Along with your box, you get a 30% off coupon to use in their sister store. I just uploaded a big haul from products I bought in their sister store, and I really need to quit shopping in there, but yeah, it's a great deal. And you can use that coupon code over and over and over all month long as many times as you want. If you don't want to subscribe and you just want to shop in their store, you can check that out as well. And the coupon code here, Wendy2, will get you $2 off of your order in their store. So anyway, I'll have links in the description box below for all that if you're interested. But we're going to make a bracelet. So let me show you what we're going to use. We're going to use these Z beads. I thought these were the prettiest things ever. I love them so much. I'm making this bracelet for myself. It's going to be a lot of whites and silvers, and I think it'll be really versatile. But man, I thought these were beautiful. I just love them. So we're going to use those. Here's some more. We're going to use these rondelles that were in the box as well. These are a faux jade rondelle. Okay, I'm going to be using some pearls. These were not in the box. These are from my own stash. And I'm going to be using one of the chandelier components from the box. I'm going to be using the spacer beads from the box. And then I've got some things here. I've got some silver lava beads. These are not from the box. They're from my own stash. And I think I have these. I do have these on my website, but they're bigger. I think they're like 10 millimeter. I'm not sure. I can't see them from here. But anyway, I do have silver lava beads on my website if you're interested. I'm using these little beads too. Now these are some beads that I got from dollarbead.com. And I love these. They've got like a silver and a little hint of like a copper or something. But I think they look really well with this. So we're going to use them too. I've got some little True Twos here that are just very sparkly. They're from my own stash. And some silver True Twos, and I'm not sure I'm going to use the silver one, or silver fire polish. I'm not sure I'm going to use these, but I pulled them out just in case. I have two little pearls. These are 8 millimeter pearls I'm using in the bracelet. These are 6 millimeter pearls for, I'm going to do some dangles here. I'm going to use those for those. I'm going to use this heart. It's just a heart bead with like an AB finish for the dangle. I'm going to use this heart, little charm, for a dangle. I'm going to use this cross. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to use this cross for a dangle. And I think that's all for the dangles. I may use some of these other beads if I need to. I have a bunch of wire guardians and crimp bead covers and crimp tubes. Now I'm using this. These are #1 crimp tubes, the tiny ones. That's what I'm going to be using. I've got a lobster claw, a ring for my lobster to clasp onto. Actually, not to clasp onto. A ring for my strands to clasp onto for my lobster. I've got some ball head pins. These are from the Bargain Bead Box this month. I do have some bead caps. I'm not using the ones from the Bargain Bead Box this month. I did not like them. I didn't like the way they looked on the beads. They made the beads look like they had a hat on, and I don't like that. So these are from my own stash. These are on my website as well, if anybody's interested in those. And then I'm using 3 strands of 49. This is Beadalon 49 strand tiger tail. And I've got them cut in like this is probably 11 inches long. You don't need that long, but I always cut them extra because I am really bad to not have enough. And then I can use it for something else if I need to. And then I've got a bunch of jump rings and my beading tools. So I know it looks like a lot of stuff. And I guess it kind of is, but it's really not going to be a hard bracelet to make, if that makes any sense. Oh, and I'm grabbing my bead bugs. Hold on just a second. I've got to grab my bead bugs. here they are. These are Bead Bugs. I get these at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or wherever, and they are awesome for keeping your beads from falling off the end of your strands on things like this. And I've got some some head pins. You may need some head pins regular too. I don't know. I'm going to use these ball head pins for the dangles, I think. But you may need some regular ones. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is decide how we want our strands to be. So I'm going to pull some of these off here. Now, I don't have a huge wrist, and this lobster claw is going to take up a lot of this, and this is going to take up a lot of this. Now, we're going to cut this off. See this dangle here, or this loop here? We're going to just cut that off. We don't need it. So if you take your, see, and just bend back and forth, your cutters, and just bend back and forth, it'll break right off. You can file it down if you need to. I usually just take my cutters and mess around with it until it kind of gets smoother, but you can file it if you want to. That's probably would be a smarter thing to do, but you know, there we go. And I'll just go like this a little bit, and it should be just fine. And it is. So this is going to go like this. This is going to clasp onto this. All right. So we're going to need, at least you got to account for this room right here in your, how big you want your bracelet to be. My wrist is small. It's about 6 1/4 inches. So I got to account for the clasp in there. I know I want one of the strands to be these Z beads. I love these Z beads. I didn't say that, did I? That I love them. I do. They're so pretty. And let's see. I know I want to use the pearls as well. So I may alternate the pearls and the lava beads. Let me see here. And this is, I'm just kind of designing on the fly. I had the general idea, obviously, but I did not sit down and lay this out to see, you know, how I wanted to do it. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. Okay. So we got that. And then I've got these little guys, and I do still want to use these little guys. I like them. So I may alternate them with these spacers. That would be good, probably. These little guys and the spacers. And I think that that might be how I do this bracelet. So that's kind of a general idea of what it would look like. And I probably will use some bead caps in here. Probably on these bigger beads, for sure, on these bigger beads to draw some of the silver in. And I'm probably going to sprinkle these guys sporadically throughout just because I love the sparkle that these give. They're so pretty. And I'll probably put a few of these throughout as well. Let me get them open. Oh, and I forgot these other guys. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I do want to use these too. These rondelles. I really like these. So I may add some of these in here with these guys as well. I think that would make a nice balance. Yeah, okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our tiger tail. I put a bead bug on one end. These bead bugs are, I'm telling you, they've saved me so many times from losing my beads. Okay, now let me measure here. So I've got this ruler. This is a 6-inch ruler. My wrist is about 6 1/4. So I've got about 2 inches in my clasping, and by the time I get my tiger tail hooked on here and everything, it's going to be about 2 inches right here. So I know that I need to bead about probably 4.5 inches would be good. So that would give me about 6.5 inches. I may go a little bit more. I may bead about 5 inches. It's probably what I'll do just to give myself enough room, because sometimes they draw up too when you're, you know, putting them on. So I'm just going to start here, and I'm just going to put these guys on. I'm going to do one of these. These are so pretty and sparkly. I just love using them. They're just so pretty. Okay. Gonna do a lava bead. These lava beads are really pretty too. I'm gonna do another one of these little sparkles and a pearl. Now, do I want to do some bead caps on the pearls? I don't think I'm going to. Well, let me look at these. I like these bead caps really well, and they would fit the 8mm pearl really pretty, probably. Let me see what it looks like. I don't want to make it too crazy busy, but it would help if I could get the pearl on the tiger tail. Having issues, aren't I? There we go, man. All right, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's pretty cute, actually. Let's go ahead and I'm going to use some of these bead caps on the pearls, maybe. Yeah, I do like that. Okay, then we'll do another lava bead. I'm not doing a pattern. I'm just, this row right here, I'm kind of doing random. Oh, I was going to use these up there, but I went ahead and put it down there, didn't I? Do I want to use those in with, I don't think I do. Hold on, I'm going to take this guy off. I think I want to keep those up top. I don't know why. I'm like, do I want you down there? No, I don't think I do. I think we want you up top. Okay. We're just going to do the pearls and the lava beads and these little sparkles down here for now. All right. So there's that. Let's do another lava bead. Like I said, I don't really want this to be a pattern. This one, I want it to be kind of random. The pearl lava bead strand. I'm liking random a lot lately. Random is nice. When you don't have to be so structured, and so I'm finding I really love random. So I've been doing a lot of random lately. There we go. Let's do another lava bead. Pearl. And let's do a little sparkle in here. We'll do another pearl. And another lava bead. Little sparkly one. These little sparkly ones, I know they don't seem to show up much in there, but when they catch the light, they really do sparkle. They're pretty. I'll do another pearl. Okay, there we go. And then another lava bead, sparkly bead, lava bead, and let me see how long this is. So I've got about a little over 4 inches. I'm going to go just a little bit more, so I'll do a pearl. Right here, and a sparkly bead, a lava bead, and a sparkly bead, and we'll see how many inches this is now. It's looking probably pretty close to what I'm needing. Whoops. Yeah, it's right over 5. So I'm going to keep this right like this. I'm going to put a bead bug on. Whoops. Just like that. And we're going to do our next strand. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use these Z beads and some of these. So let's put on, I'm going to put on 2 of these little guys right here. The Z bead. And let's see, do I want to alternate it with anything, or do I want to use some bead caps on it? I like these bead caps really well. Let me see how they look on the Z bead. Bead cap. I don't want anything too big on these because I really think these are so beautiful. I want to showcase them. I don't want to have a bead cap covering them. So that's pretty good. Those bead caps look nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one. I do the bead caps back to back, just like that. I like the way they look. I'll do another one, and then I'm going to do one of these guys. And then just repeat that. These are so pretty. I would like to save a couple of these Z beads for a pair of earrings. So I really need to save out at least 2 of them. Make sure I don't use them all in this. Yeah, these are beautiful. These are agate, in case anybody wonders. Oh, and I wanted to say, a couple people have asked me about that ruler that I just had right there, that Fire Mountain Gems ruler. Beth sent that to me in a friend mail, and I don't know if she bought it or if she got it, like, you know, when you order, sometimes they'll send you a free gift. I don't know, but I've had a couple people ask about it. One girl said she looked on their website and couldn't find it. So I don't know, you may need to email them and ask them if you want it, but I love it. It's awesome. It has... Look at this. It's got bead sizes, it's got wire thicknesses, it's got standard to metric, and then it's a ruler and it's clear so you can see through it. I really, really do like it. So thank you to Beth. I love that thing. And I've used it. I've kept it right here in front of me on my lamp, and I use it all the time. I found that it's come in very, very handy. Okay, so I've got 2 more of these left. Let me make sure. I hope I have enough to do the 5 inches, because I really like these. These beads are so pretty. If not, I'll add some little, some of these little silver ones on the ends. That's the good thing about using these bead bugs. You don't, you know, you can take this off if you need to and add on or take away. All right, let's look at this. So I've used all my Z beads. Whoops. And I've got not quite, I need a bit more, don't I? I do need a bit more. Well, I really wanted to save a pair of those for earrings. What am I going to do? Let's think this through. So this one, I need to make sure, yeah, I do need quite a bit more. I don't want to put that many, that many silver ones on the end, I don't think, would be kind of weird. So what can I do here? I could add in a couple of these guys somewhere along the way, I guess. Let me see this. I may do this. So I've got my 2 little things. I'm going to take one of these off. One of those little silver guys. I am going to put a couple bead caps on here, and I'm going to add on one of these on either end. Oops. Just like this. Same thing over here. I'm going to do the little metal spacer and then add on one of these faux jade rondelles and see if that helps my length with this a little, because I really do want to save those other 2 out for earrings. So that gets me right about 5, so that's good, because then if I add one of these little rondelle or one of these little fire polish spacers to the end of each one, it's going to get me pretty even with my other. So let me put the bead bug back on here. Okay, tighten this up. And I'm going to take my other strand and actually measure them side by side. So I can see, yes, they are exact. So that's going to be perfect. Okay, so let me put a bead bug on this guy. Okay, whoops. Okay, there we go. Whoops, I didn't get it on there, did I? There we go. All right, so we've got these 2 strands so far, and I like that. I don't think that's anybody's going to go, oh my gosh, you're missing 2s. I mean, it's pretty close, so. And I'm saving them for these earrings. Okay, so now I'm going to do my 3rd strand. Let's go ahead and put a bead bug on. Now this one, I want to do a sparkle bead. And I'm going to do these without bead caps because I'm going to put some metal spacers in here. So we're going to do the rondelle and metal spacer, one of these little guys, then another one of these, the rondelle, and I think I will just alternate this pattern on this one, the metal spacer And these little beads. I love these little beads from the dollarbead.com. I think they're really pretty. Okay, rondelle, spacer bead, dollar bead, sparkle bead. And I'm just going to repeat that over and over. Rondelle, spacer bead, dollar bead, sparkle bead. Pretty simple. We'll see if I can get my length here. Shouldn't have any trouble. I've got plenty of these guys right here. Dollar bead and the sparkle bead. Okay. Okay, a couple more and it should do it. Silver spacer, dollar bead, sparkle, and let's see what we have our length at now. So almost there. Let's see. So I've got my little spacer. If I do one more rondelle, just like this, that's gonna put me pretty close. And I'm probably gonna add a sparkle bead to this end. Okay, now let's hold this up next to these two. I know I like to measure them on the ruler, but I also like to measure them next to the other two strands as well. And they're all exactly even now. Okay, so here we have our 3 strands. These Z beads are going to go in the middle, right here. And let me get a bead bug on this one so I don't pick it up and drop it. So I just want to see how it looks. I think it looks pretty good. I almost feel like that I needed some of the pearls over here as well. What do you all think? Do you think the pearls needed to go over here too? I technically, let me see here. I may do that. Okay. Yeah, I may throw in a few of the pearls over here too. I'm sorry, guys. I know you don't want to watch me take this apart and redo it, but I want this to look right, so I'm going to. If you want to fast forward, you can. But this is how it goes when you're designing. Sometimes, you know, things just don't always go exactly like you think that they will. And I really do want the pearls. I think the pearls would look pretty over here. And I think I'm going to do them with a bead cap too. So I'm just going to replace some of the rondelles that I've got on here with a pearl. And I think that's going to draw, it's going to draw things together better. I'm sorry, I know you guys are like, oh, I can't believe you're doing this, but it is really going to look a lot better, I think. So I'm going to do the rondelle, the spacer, the little dollar bead, and then the pearl, yeah, with these bead caps. I want to make sure that it looks cohesive, and it helps, I think, when you have one element of everything in each strand. Now, I know I don't have the lava beads over here, but I do have a lot of silver. So I think it's going to draw it together, and it's going to look good. Okay, so we got the pearl, then another rondelle. And these are small strands. It's not like it's going to take me a year to restring this or anything. But it'll definitely be worth it, I think. I think it'll look a lot better. I'm going to put a pearl. There we go. Okay, rondelle. This guy. This one. And a pearl. Yeah, it's tying it together better. It's pretty. Okay, and for my length, I've still got just a bit more. So I'm going to do one more set. Rondelle, metal spacer, dollar bead, pearl, and this will probably be the last one. Do I have another 8mm? Yeah, here we go. Let me make sure that didn't make it too long. So let's lay it out beside these, because it does matter. They have to match with the other ones. And actually, if I take this little sparkly bead off the end, I think it'll be pretty good. Alright. Let's check it out here. Yeah, I think that's good. Now if I need to, I can always add those little sparkly beads back on, but I think that's good. Okay, so I like the way this looks better. It's just a little more cohesive. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hook it on to what we need it to hook onto. So let me get these out of the way. So you're going to need some crimp beads, some wire guardians, 6 wire guardians, 6 crimp beads, and 6 crimp bead covers if you want to use crimp bead covers. Oh, there's a lid on there. That's why they won't come out. Okay. These are kind of mixed up in here. I'm going to pick out the small ones, which are the size that I want. Yeah, these little tubes. Okay. Put this back in here. And we're good to go. All right, so what we're going to do is we've got our ring here, our chandelier, that this is going to clasp onto, and then we're going to hook these on this side of the chandelier, okay? Then we're going to hook, these are going to have to hook onto a ring that's going to clasp onto our lobster. So here's that ring. Now it's not closed good. Let me close it really well. I wonder if I should use it. Well, I have to use a jump ring. So let me go ahead and put the lobster on since I'm getting ready to close this. Let me put the lobster on first. Okay, now I'm going to close it up and make sure it's closed really good, because these little tiger tails will slip out of there if you don't have it closed really good. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take this end. We are going to put a crimp bead, little crimp on there. I hope these are not too small. I don't think they're going to be. Oh, well, it went down in my rondelle. I had a feeling it was going to do that. These may be too small. I may have to get the size up from these. I want it to be secure. Okay, let's go through our wire guardian one side. You're going to have to hold your crimp bead if it's too small and is wanting to go down in your rondelle. Just keep your hand on it. This is going to be fiddly a little bit, but we're going to go down the other side of our wire guardian. Just like this. Okay, I'm going to slip my ring on here. I probably could put these on the jump ring after. I'm just going to do that. That'll be easier. So I'm going to slide my wire guardian up. I'm going to go back through my little crimp bead. Just like this. Yeah, these crimps are going to be too small. Let me grab a different crimp. These are size 1 and they're just going to be too tiny. Hold on. Okay guys, these are size 2s and they're definitely going to be better. And shout out to Michelle who sent me these crimp beads, crimp tubes. I love them. I've used them a lot and they're very nice. They're Beadalon brand and they're just high quality. Okay, so we're going to go around our little wire guardian here. This is why I leave myself a lot of wire, guys, because I have a lot of fine motor skill issues from a accident that I had when I was younger, and I just can't do tiny stuff so well all the time, so sometimes I have to use a little extra material or whatnot. And I've had people be like, oh my gosh, you're wasting so much, but it's not that I'm trying to be wasteful. I just can't always do the small tiny work that everyone else can because of that. But okay, so I'm going to use my crimping pliers for this, and you want to make sure that your wires are side by side. I like to bend my wire guardian in just like this. I just like to tip it in like that. I just think it makes it look a little better. You want to scoot your crimp up, and we're going to take our pliers, and making sure that my wires are side by side and not crossed, I'm going to press down in the divot part of my pliers. And if you can see, that puts my wires in either side of these little channels, okay? Then I'm going to turn this sideways, and I'm going to take it and put it in the second one here of my pliers, and I'm just going to bend it closed. And then I just tighten it, and that makes a perfect little crimp. Aren't you proud of me, Judy Perkins? She's always like, I'm going to teach you how to crimp. Well, I'm learning. I'm doing it. So I know you're proud of me. She'll tell me. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this wire down in some of my beads. Move my bead bug up because I'm not ready really to do anything with that. And now if you can see, that crimp went right down in that rondelle, which is kind of nice. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. So it's right down in the rondelle. If you wanted, well, you know what? I better not leave it like that. I better scoot this down and put my crimp cover on, because if I don't, it'll be shorter than these other ones. So let me just go ahead and do that. And I don't know what the deal is with these crimp covers. They were all stuck together inside each other. Okay. So yeah, I better use it. If I don't, it's gonna make things wonky with the sizing. So just gonna grab my crimp cover right here with my pliers, slide it over the crimp as best I can, and sometimes I have to take it like this and kind of manhandle it in there. It's like a little Pac-Man. It doesn't want to always go. And so let me make it go. Sometimes I just take the pliers off completely and make it go with my fingers. There we go, just like that. And then I'm just going to take my pliers and close it up. Make sure it's in there real good, because you don't want it to close halfway. Okay, just take it and close it. And you can kind of round it out if you have to. See, mine's got a little jutting out part there. I just round it up. And there we have it. And that looks really good. Okay, so now I'm going to tighten this up. Okay, just like that. All right, now we're going to do the second one. So you need to do that to all of yours, and I'm not going to put you through the torture of watching me do each one. So do that to all of these and come on back. Okay, so I've got all of these crimped and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open my jump ring again. I think it'll be easier to do it would have been harder to try to crimp them on here, which is what I intended to do, but yeah, that would have been hard. So I'm just going to put them on in the order that I want them to go on in. Just like that, okay? I'm going to close this back up. Make sure it's closed up pretty good. You want it to be, don't want anything sliding out. And then I'm going to do my other ends. Now my other ends are going to need to clasp onto this chandelier finding, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them around here like this. And this is going to be a little bit difficult, but each one that you do, well, I'll do the first one with you. I don't want to make you watch me do them all, because it's kind of redundant, but I'll do the first one. So we're just going to do the same thing that we did before, but now what you want to do is you want to make sure that you've got this tight. You don't want it to be so tight that it doesn't have any movement, but you definitely don't want there to be gaps between your beads, okay? So you're going to put on your crimp and your wire guardian just like we did on the other end. Now you could hook these on with jump rings. I don't really want to do that because that's going to make my bracelet way too long, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull my tiger tail down through my wire guardian. All right, now I'm going to insert this onto my ring. So I want to turn my ring. I kind of want it to be this way with those on the outer edge. And I'm just going to insert this right through my wire guardian, just like that. Okay? Now, it's a little fiddly. You can do it, though. So take this back down through your crimp and go down through a few of the beads, however many that you feel comfortable with. I'm just going to stick it through the first couple. Pull this down and pull it tight. But now make sure when you pull this tight that it's not so stick straight. You want it to have just a slight bit of movement. So I just kind of hold it loosely. I hold a little tension on it, but I don't pull it, super tight. And I'm going to take my crimping pliers Now, another thing you need to do is make sure this is turned correctly, because you want this to crimp your 2 wires into their 2 channels. So you got to watch that too. I'm going to, whoa, I just cracked my little sparkly bead. Oh well. That wasn't what I wanted to happen, but that's what happens sometimes. So if I was going to sell this bracelet, I would definitely have to restring that, but I'm not. I'm keeping it, so I'm just going to let it go because I don't want to restring it. So I'm going to cut this off right here, and I am going to take my little cover and go ahead and put that on here. I hate that I did that, but that's just an example of what can happen. So be really careful when you crimp next to those little, if you have any of those little crystal beads, they will break if you press down on them at all. So I take this, and like I said before, I take my fingers and shove that in there because it's easier for me to do it that way, to get the whole thing in. And on the last 3, they went really easily. There we go. And then I just take my pliers and I close it up. I make sure that it's in there all the way, and I just close it up just like that. And you may have to round it out just a bit, okay? And despite my cracking the little bead, that's not too bad, it's okay. I'm gonna cut this wire right here because I don't want this hanging out. Okay, and there's our first strand. All right, so we're just going to do that with every strand. You just have to make sure that they're laying correctly. That's the hard part. So this next one, I'll just go ahead and do it. If you want to fast forward, you can, but I figure some people might want to see it again. So I'm going to put the crimp on. Then I'm going to put my wire guardian on. Hopefully I can do this without crushing my little bead right there. I'm going to go ahead and put this down through the wire guardian. Pull it. Now I've got to make sure that when this one comes up, it lays in the second slot right here beside that one I just did. I don't want it crisscrossing unless you want it crisscrossing, and if you want to make them crisscrossing, you actually could do that. I'm going down through the crimp and a couple other beads. I just kind of push it through, and wherever it comes out, I pull it. And I want to pull this kind of tight, but not like horribly tight. All right, now here's what I got to do. I got to keep a little tension on this while I hold this, okay, because we don't want that slipping. And it's easy to do it if you kind of put your hand through that loop or your finger through that loop. I'm going to take my crimp pliers. I'm going to try to do this a little more carefully and not crack my bead. And I did. Yay. I'll see if I can finish it without cracking my bead. And I put it kind of in the first or second slot. I just feel around to see which one seems to do better. There we go. All right, and I did it without cracking my bead, which is a plus. I've got a hold of this, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim it. Okay, and then I'm going to put my little crimp bead cover on. You don't have to use these crimp bead covers, and I don't always use them. I mean, I think that looks just fine, but since I started with them, I'm going to finish. Okay. I just push it down in there. Some people do it with their pliers. For me, it's easier to do it with my fingers because of my issues with my motor skills. So, and there we have the second one. Okay, so just do your third one the same exact way and come right on back. Okay guys, so if you've got it all hooked on, this is what you should have going on right now. Okay, these should be in a line, these should be in a line, no one should be crisscrossing anybody, hopefully. So now we can undo this, and we're going to do our dangles on this little chandelier part. So let's undo, for heaven's sakes, let's undo that. All right, so now we're going to make some dangles. I'm just moving everything out of the way so we can do this on screen. Okay, and I've got this heart, this cross, and I want to use these two 6mm pearls. So let's turn it this way since that's how it seems to be wanting to go. Lay down there. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that looks pretty good. Let me grab some head pins. Now, I could just dangle this heart straight from here, or I could put it on something. I would need an eye pin if I'm going to do that. I know I want the cross to go right in the middle, and I just want to hook it directly on. So I'm going to grab some jump rings over here out of my jump ring container, and I've got some fairly thick ones. I don't know where these came from, but they look like they're about 20 gauge, or maybe probably 20. And I'm going to hook the dangles on with these thicker jump rings because I want them to be, I want them to stay there and be pretty solid. So let's hook the cross on. Whoops. I don't even think I had a hold of the jump ring there. Okay. Oh my goodness. What is the matter with me tonight? This is like the third video I've filmed today, so I'm getting kind of tired. So there's that. I like that right in the middle. All right. So with this one, do I want to do, I think I'll do a couple of beads on either side of this heart. So let me see if these little sparkly beads fit on here. Oh, my crimp bead does. I was trying to see if my little sparkly beads would fit on this eye pin. I don't know that they will. That's a crimp bead too. Yeah, these are pretty tiny. I may have to do, but I could do a ball head pin here and a wrap loop on him. Let's do that. So I've got this ball head pin. These little sparkly beads will fit on the ball head pin for sure. And then we'll put our heart on like this. And we'll see how that looks. They don't really show up too well on there. Maybe I'll do the silver ones. And if I do that, maybe I can do them on the regular head pin. Let's see. No, they won't go on the regular head pin either. Okay, they will go on the ball head pin though, I'm sure of that. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. The other ones just didn't show up with this heart so much. So let's make a wrap loop. To do that, you bend your wire 90 degrees. You take your round nose pliers and you grab in the bend and come up and over, just like that. Rotate your pliers up and go on around, and you'll have a little loop there. Grab the loop with your plier, and then you can either take your finger, because these ball head pins are so thin, you can use your fingers really, or you can take another pair of pliers and twist it. And I don't really worry about making my loops really super neat. I just make them kind of messy. Wrap it around several times till you feel it's secure, and then just trim it off, just like that. And I'm going to hook that on as well with one of these thick jump rings. Now I could have, if I wanted to just attach this wrap loop directly to that thing, I could have done that before I started wrapping, but I didn't, and I don't really want to. I want to put it on with the jump ring. So I'm going to put it right here on the end and close that up really good. Okay, so there's 2 dangles right there. Okay, now let's see, let's do a pearl in here. I'm going to do a regular eye pin, I think, with the pearl. What do I want to put with this pearl? Do I want to put something with it or not? I'm going to do this heart over here. Let's look here. Let's do this. Let's put a couple of bead caps with him. That's cute. And really, I kind of want him to hang right in there because he fits good there. So let's go ahead and just make a regular loop. Roll this back with our eye pin, or our, I've got that way too big. Trim that down a little bit. Roll this back with our round nose pliers. Okay, and I'm just going to hook it on again with a jump ring. And again, I could hook him directly on if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to use the jump ring and see how he looks. Okay, and there are those 3, looking cute. Now this guy, I'm going to replace this oval jump ring with this other one if it'll fit. It may not fit through here because he's kind of, that's a tiny hole. Let me try it because I would like it to be a little more I like these thicker jump rings. I feel like they're more secure, but let's try it and see. Yeah, don't think it's going to go through there. Okay, so let me look in here and see if I have a thicker jump ring. That oval jump ring's kind of thin. Let me see if I have something a little thicker, but not quite that thick. And I do. This one I think would work a little bit better. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to attach this heart directly onto here. Okay, so there's that one. And I'm going to do one more pearl. I do have an 8mm pearl. I may stick that one on there. So let's do bead cap, pearl, bead cap, and we're just going to put that right there. Bend at a 90-degree angle, trim it up, make our loop. Make sure you close your loops up real good. That one I did not get closed at all, and it's wanting to spin on me. There we go. Important that they get closed. And then I'm just going to use this jump ring for this one. It's still not closed. Sometimes it helps if you hold the bottom like that. It just keeps it from spinning, and now I messed up my loop. I sure did. Messed my loop right up. Let me see if I can fix it. There we go. It's a little oblong, but that's okay. Like I said, this is my bracelet. Not selling it. If I was selling it, I would fix that too, but it's all good. All right, put this in here. Let's close it up. I like this. I think this bracelet's turning out super cute. Now, the only thing I'm concerned about is when I buckle it, did I get the cross on the right way or do I need to flip it? So let's look. So when this buckles, it's going to come right up here. Yeah, I think it's the right way. And this is a pretty big lobster. Let's see if I can put this on myself. I'm usually terrible at putting them on myself. But like I said, this is pretty large. I think, well, maybe I can't. It's wanting to run from me. Yeah, I've got to get one of those little contraptions that helps you put your jewelry on. But anyway, you get the idea. When it's clasped, it's going to look like this. So let me put it on a bracelet form and then you can really see. Hold on. Okay guys, so here it is. Here's a little bracelet thing I use just for times like this when I can't get my own jewelry on, but I need to show it to somebody. And I love this. I think this is a gorgeous bracelet. Like I said, I love the Z beads from Bargain Bead Box. They're stunningly beautiful. And I thought this piece turned out really cute right here too for the dangle. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I've really had a fun time with this month's Bargain Bead Box. This is only the second thing I made, but I love the necklace that I made earlier too. And I will link that in the description box if you want to see it. And I'll have all the links for the subscription if you want to subscribe. So anyway, you guys have a great rest of the evening, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.